Welcome back to All About Winning Daily Fantasy Sports. My name is Ty Patton. Sadly, only two Sunday night football games remain as the NFL regular season draws to a close. Tonight's game features the 11-3 Kansas City Chiefs visiting the 7-7 Chicago Bears. The Chiefs have an outside chance at the number 2 seed in the AFC, but are more than likely looking at the number 3 seed. But they need to win, which is important for fantasy purposes. The Bears are playing out the season with a 7-7 record, and teams with nothing to play for are always dangerous. The Chiefs have been installed as a 6.5-point road favorite with a game total of 44.5 points. Before we unpack this game, I want to share the numbers that are fantasy relevant to the Showdown contest itself. Up to and including last night's Showdown game between the 49ers and Rams, there have been 108 Showdown contests. These Showdown contests have an average winning score of 131.98. The average winning captain score is 42.35. Since the average captain score represents 32% of the average winning score, I focus a lot of attention to the captain's position. With that being said, the captain's position breaks down as follows through the 108 Showdown contests. The underdog running back has appeared in the captain spot for the winning lineup more than any other position, 21 times, which is 19%. The favorite quarterback, 19 times for 18%. And the favored wide receiver, 19 times for 18%. The underdog wide receiver has been a captain in the winning lineup 14 times for 13%. The favored running back, 13 times for 12%. The underdog quarterback has been the captain in the winning lineup 8 times for 7%. The favorite defensive special teams has been the captain in the winning lineup 6 times for 6%. The underdog kicker, the favorite tight end, the underdog defensive special teams, and the underdog tight end have all been the captain in the winning lineup 2 times for 2%. Now I combined this by positions, whether they were favored or the underdog, and it breaks down as follows. Running backs have appeared in the captain spot for the winning lineup more than any other position, barely, but more than any other position, 34 times for 31%. Right behind running backs is wide receivers. They've been the captain in the winning lineup 33 times for 31%. Quarterbacks have been the captain in the winning lineup 27 times for 25%. All others represent 14 times for 13%. Now, another thing that I consider when looking at the captain's position is the overall straight-up win-loss record of the winning captain. And the winning captains have an overall record of 74 wins and 34 losses. That means the captain from the winning team, out of the 108 showdowns, 74 times or 69% of the time, the captain comes from the winning team. And that breaks down as follows. Running backs are 25 wins and 8 losses, which is 76% win percentage. Wide receivers, 19 wins, 14 losses, 58% winning percentage. And quarterbacks are 19 wins and 8 losses for a 70% winning percentage. Do these numbers unlock the mystery of tonight's Chiefs Bears showdown slate? Absolutely not. But what they do give us is an edge, and in the end, that's all we're looking for is an edge. Some of the main takeaways from this is the underdog running back in the captain's position. This is the position that has appeared more than any other position. Although it's close, they've still been the captain more than any other. 21 times for 19%. Running backs combined for 1/3 of the winning lineups at 31%. The captain comes from the winning team 69% of the times. That's some things that you can use to factor in when you're building your showdown lineup. Now, for me, I just use this as a part of my overall process. The first thing I do when building these lineups, as well as factoring these numbers in, is I take a stand. Who do I think is going to win? I look at the matchups. What is the path to victory? The passing game, running game. Who are the players that support this path to victory? And who are the players that are more likely to be the highest scoring in this game based on that theory? And then you also have to consider, if this team is going to win, what will the other team have to do to stay in the game or be competitive, and try to build my lineup around that theory. In tonight's game, The Chiefs offense can attack the Bears from different angles. The Bears are number 16 versus the running back position. Damian Williams is due back tonight for the Chiefs. The Chiefs backfield is a mess. You got Damian Williams, you have LaShawn McCoy, Darwin Thompson. There's a lot of pieces there to unpack, but the Bears can be run on. They have a ranking of number 20 versus the tight ends, so that's the bottom third of the NFL. That's not good when you're facing Travis Kelce. And the Chiefs are going to look to exploit matchups like Sammy Watkins, who is going to be matched up against Buster Skrine, one of the worst corners in the NFL. And those are the things that you have to factor in when considering this game. The Chiefs come in with a ranking of number 30 on defense versus the running back position, so they can be run on. That's David Montgomery and Tariq Cohen. And they're number 27 versus the tight end. But the Bears are really beat up at the tight end position. They are going to be relying on J.P. Horsted at tight end. So I think this actually gives more targets possibly to players such as Tariq Cohen, who is actually, he's a running back, but he gets a lot of targets, and they'll run him out of the slot. And I have a lot of interest in Tariq Cohen tonight based on the game theory that they're going to be playing from behind. If I thought it was going to be a close game, I might have a little bit more interest in David Montgomery, but I really do have a lot of interest in Tariq Cohen for the Bears and Sammy Watkins for the Chiefs. I think Watkins is going to overlooked because of Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill and Kelce can absolutely smash the slate. And that'll probably be chalky with them in the captain spot or Mahomes in the captain spot. So this is the manual build lineup that I've been working on, and then we'll talk about it a little bit, and then we'll go to the optimized lineup. I'm going to use Watkins in the captain spot. I think this will be a little bit contrarian. It's a pivot off of Kelce and off of Tyreek Hill, as well as Patrick Mahomes in the captain spot. He hasn't had a really big game. Actually, I've seen something today. His last 7 games, he hasn't scored as much as he did in that second game where he had a really big game. And I think he could go overlooked here, and he has the best matchup on paper versus Buster Skrine. With him in the captain spot at only 8,400, that allows you to do a lot more with your lineup in comparison to if you put Kelce or Tyreek Hill or Mahomes up there. In the flex, I'm also gonna use field goal kickers. I try to only use one, at the most 2, between the 2 defensive special teams and the 2 field goal kickers. I like field goal kickers that are home. Obviously, the Chiefs are on the road, but I also like the field goal kicker from the team who has the highest implied total, meaning they're favored to win the game, they're favored to score more points. Obviously, just makes sense to take that field goal kicker. I'm going to use Patrick Mahomes in the flex. And I'm going to use Mitch Trubisky. And one of his main targets, Robinson. And I'm also going to use Damian Williams. Now, like I said, Williams is due back. Let's check this note. I don't think he carries an injury designation. He's been cleared to play in Sunday night's contest. And the Bears can definitely be run on. I really like this a lot. Now, another way that I like this, as I mentioned, I really like Tariq Cohen. Another thing that I was looking at, which kind of goes against the way that I build, but I could pop Pinero in there, and that would leave me enough to get to Cohen, who is 7,200. And there you go. But I really prefer the field goal kicker from the team that has the highest implied total. But they could get bogged down. And Pinero, field goal kickers are always usable in showdown contests with their with their floor that they offer. I mean, he's got average of 6.1 fantasy points per game. And so there you go. I think this will be a little bit contrarian. I try to leave a little money on the table in the showdown contest. I seen a number the other day where the average winning showdown contest is leaving over just slightly over $1,000 on the table. So, and with the other lineup that I had, which I had Butker in here, I had 600 left on the table. I really like this lineup. I feel like the Bears will be playing from behind, which so that makes sense to have Trubisky and Robinson. I will have some lineups where I move this around and get Tariq going, and I have a lot of interest, as I mentioned, having him in the lineup. This is the lineup that I've built using the information that I shared with you. I'm just trying to show you my process, not give you picks or a lineup that you can run out and put in a contest. If you do, that's fine. If we're in the same contest, you see that Cowboy fan 215 up there, that's me. And we'll just be splitting. So something's better than nothing. But this is the manual that I really have a lot of interest in. So as I always do, I utilize an optimizer from a paid site that I subscribe to. And what I want the optimizer for is to look at the different randomizations of the players that I'm interested in. For a showdown slate, I usually pick 4 or 5 players, maybe 6, that are potential captains, a couple, at least a couple from the other team, and I set the minimum maximum exposures for that. I did in this particular one. I had Watkins. I had him in a low percentage, but I had Watkins in as a captain. I had Kelsey, Mahomes, Trubisky, Tyreek Hill, and I spread out the 100% exposure between them. Then I go to the flex positions and I set the minimum maximum exposures, and I don't put too many rules on a showdown because anything can happen, and I want to see like the truest randomizations with the players that I have interest in. I do put some things like if Mahomes is in the captain spot, I want at least 2 targets in the flex. If Hill is in the captain spot, I want Mahomes in a flex spot. And those are general rules that I also use in my when I'm building main slate. Quarterbacks, other than Lamar Jackson, I at least want a wide receiver or a tight end target to go with them. If I have a wide receiver in the captain spot on Showdown, I at least want third quarterback in the flex. There's only one way they're going to go off, and that's if they throw them the ball. So I set it up for 150. And sometimes it gives me 150, but sometimes with the rules and the exposures that I have, it can't give me the full 150. Today it was able to give me 129 out of the 150 requested. And as I always do, I share one. Since it's Christmas, I'm going to show you guys a couple that it's spit out. And this was the very first one. And it had Travis Kelce in the captain spot. It had Wims, wide receiver, who's actually the number 3 for the Bears. Javon Wims. Where is he? Give me a second here, guys. Here he goes. 400. Had kicker Harrison Butker. Flex was wide receiver Miller. That's an interesting pivot off of Robinson. He does get targeted a lot in this offense. Trubisky and Patrick Mahomes. Left 400 on the table. Obviously got Kelsey paired up with Mahomes. The Bears are weak versus the tight end position. That makes sense. You got Trubisky with a couple targets in comeback mode, and you got the field goal kicker from the team with the highest implied total. So that was the very first one. And that's pretty interesting, and it makes sense. Correlates really well. The next one that I'm going to show you guys was Patrick Mahomes. It had the Bears defense. Well, hold on one second here. It had Mahomes in the captain spot at 18,000. It had the Bears defense. It had the kicker for the Chiefs. It had Sammy Watkins. It had Anthony Miller wide receiver for the Bears, and Travis Kelce. And this was really interesting and makes sense. What you're saying here is Mahomes is going to spread the ball around, probably get Watkins and Kelce involved in more than any of the others, but he's going to outscore them two because he's throwing it, spreading the ball out. If you're using the quarterback in the captain spot, that's what you're looking at. The quarterback is going to spread the ball around and outscore the receivers. If you got a receiver up there, what you're saying is the quarterback's going to be concentrating to getting him the ball. He's going to go off with 9 catches, 110 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That's your game theory. Now you see the Bears there, and this is interesting. This actually correlates well. Something happens, but the Bears are going to try to get pressure on Mahomes, and their defense will probably be under own. But this correlates well. Say the Bears are able to get pressure or get a strip sack or get a pick six and put Kansas City in comeback mode. Now you have, this just makes sense. This is a positive correlation. It just makes sense. Now you have Mahomes getting the ball to Watkins and Kelce because the Bears have, obviously become relevant in this game, their defense. So it makes a lot of sense. It's an interesting build. Left 600 on the table. And there you go. So I'm going to get this posted for you guys. I got to get out of here and get to my dad's for Christmas. And so I'm posting it early today. I want to thank you guys for joining me. I'll be back tomorrow to do the Showdown contest for the for the Vikings and the Packers game. And I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays from my family to yours. I encourage you to please drop any opinions or comments that you may have below. I got a couple comments last night over my lineup building video that were really helpful. I don't look at criticism as a negative thing. I look at it as advice. And I really appreciate some things that some people said that helped me out a lot. Please share this video, like it, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when my next video posts. My subscriptions have went up, gained a few more last night. My viewers have really went up, and if you're a viewer, please subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. I got some really good information, and I really want to build this channel into something bigger. I've exceeded my expectations, and it's all because of you, and I really appreciate that. As I mentioned, I'll be back tomorrow to do the Monday Night Showdown between the Packers and the Vikings. You can also follow me on Twitter at winningabout. Good luck today. Don't forget to check your injury reports. Check your injury report for this game about 6:50 tonight or 7 o'clock. And you always want to do that, whether there's an injury designation or not. Something happens, someone that gets sick, or last second family issue, or something like happened with Robert Woods a few weeks ago. You always want to check that injury report. Again, thank you for joining me. My name is Ty Patton. This is all about winning daily fantasy sports, and have a good day.